start with that. Let's start with that because I think it's important that people understand. Because I always tell people, the woman that called, she was a tax preparer. I think she was a CPA or enrolled agent, I think she said. And she got stumped on a question. And the question, here's the question. She called, she said, I have a longtime client, and his wife passed away in 2004, and they created a trust in 1997 or something.
Pre-death.
Yes, pre-death, right before. And they bought a home and they put it in a trust. And then there was a trust. It was pour over, I believe is the right word, to pour that this was going to fund another trust when she passed. But he never did anything. So now it comes years later, he sold the house. The son goes and gets an EIN, which is an employer identification number, for the trust because they're supposed to have an EIN. And
what that does, the Social Security Administration does not like corpses earning income. So it shifts it from a corpse to a federal ID number, which is basically a Social Security number. It's longer, but it's for entities, it's for trusts, estates, corporations, LLCs, so that Social Security number is not making money after the funeral. That's what it's all about.
And so what happened was then they asked her to prepare this trust because he dated it from years and years ago. This trust then was supposed to file tax returns and did not.
Yeah, what happened there, and I really enjoyed answering it out of actually some personal experience where it happened. On the online application for SS4, federal ID number, IRS, there's a portal, and it existed back then. It's been around a long time. And you can also fax it in. If you check a box wrong on that fax form, or and that's how they do it when you do it in writing, or you check an incorrect pin on the radio button on the website, the 99% of the time the mistake is, it asks the question, when was the trust funded? And whoever got that federal ID number made a common error for people who don't do it all day. And they go and they say, well, funded must have mean when it started. When you put that year, 1999, the computers at the IRS start spooling up, just like in war games, with the big computer and the lights blinking, right?
Yes.
Global thermal nuclear war. And it starts spitting out of the printer a letter for every year since that was established. So if you did it now, there would have been 33 letters generated. 99, 2000, so there have been 23 letters generated. And they all have a year of inquiry. So what happens is the person gets, oh my God, I got 23 inquiries. I'm sure that's what happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah, and what you have to do, for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, and young children, you have to put, when you're being asked to set up the federal ID number, because there's some financial issue about to happen, the sale of a home, selling of some stock, by that trust. So the funding, again, no charge for this, the funding date is not the starting date, it's the day of the financial activity being contemplated. So if I did one today, it does it by month. When did it happen? I would answer March of 2022, and then the client's not going to get 20 letters.
Well, and again, I did not know that. I was telling her, this sounds more like a probate question than a tax question.
Not really, yeah.
Well,
it's something we do. When we open estates, as soon as the judge signs what's called the order appointing a guardian, order appointing an executor, that's because someone had a will. And for those of you listening, if there's no will, you're called an administrator. You're not the executor of your brother. If you didn't have a will, you're an administrator, same word. When that order comes down from the judge, then most attorneys that day or the next day go ahead and they answer truthfully, when was the estate opened? From the IRS point of view, it's not the day you pay the clerk of the court for the case. From the IRS point of view, the date of the estate opening is the day your client gets appointed. So I do it literally the day of, when I get the downloaded order, or the next day, just so I don't forget, to be honest with you.
Well, that makes sense.